Hello friends, welcome to SIVARAJAVEL IAS Academy, and this is our weekly current affairs update of environment and geography. So the first topic of discussion is cold wave and its impact in India, right? So in this present month of January, major regions of North India are experiencing extreme cold weather situations, right? So in that context, what are all the reasons behind the occurrence of cold waves in the northern part of India, and how far its impact keeps on increasing due to the extreme weather conditions as a result of multiple things like climate change and global warming, right? If we observe the recent trend in the last 3 years of 2017 to 20, there has been increased numbers of frequent cold waves as well as intensified cold waves. Almost 2.7 times the number of cold wave days has been increased in India, right? And compared to heat waves, the number of human deaths due to cold waves have been increased 76 times as per the data of Indian Meteorological Department. Then, especially in the month of January 2021, the normal temperature of the Indo-Gangetic Plain region as well as the regions in and around Punjab and Haryana are experiencing temperature less than, the temperature is decreased by around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius in this month of January, right? So if you observe the cold wave related disasters and occurrence of cold waves in the past 5 to 6 decades of India, the larger presence of cold wave incidents are concentrated in the Indo-Gangetic Plain, especially the states of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Then the western portions of India, especially the Punjab and Haryana Plain regions, right? The southern states of India is devoid of occurrence of cold waves, being a region which is present in the tropical regions, and it is not supposed to experience extremes of cold weather. But the Indo-Gangetic Plain along with the Punjab and Haryana regions on the outskirts of Delhi are highly prone to cold wave incidents, especially in the months of December and January, right? So what is this cold wave is exactly what defined by our Indian Meteorological Department, and why these incidents are occurring in these particular times of December and January, and what are all the major impacts of these cold waves, and how far we are going to address the issues of cold waves will be dealt in this particular topic, right? Cold waves. On the basis of the definition given by Indian Meteorological Department as well as the National Disaster Management Authority, if a region's minimum temperature is reduced to less than 10 degrees Celsius for plain region, or if it is reduced below 0 degrees Celsius in hilly regions, then that region would be identified as cold wave regions, right? So it should be based upon the actual minimum temperature of a station. This cold wave is otherwise considered based upon the departure from its normal minimum temperature, right? If on one scale, if its temperature is reduced to 10 degrees Celsius or below for a plain region, or sub-zero level temperature, 0 degrees Celsius or below 0 degrees Celsius for a hilly regions, it could be considered as a cold wave, right? Based upon departure means from its normal minimum temperature, if the reduction of temperature is below than 4, if the reduction of temperature from the normal temperature is reduced to 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius, then it could be also considered as an incident of cold wave. Then if the reduction of temperature goes beyond 6.4 degrees Celsius, that is from its minimum temperature, if the reduction of temperature is above 6.4 degrees Celsius, then it could be considered as severe cold wave situations, right? For example, if a region is experiencing 16.4 degrees Celsius, the normal minimum temperature of a region is 16.4 degrees Celsius. If its temperature is reduced to 10 or below 10 degrees Celsius means, then that region would be considered as a severe cold wave affected region. So from its minimum temperature, if the reduction of temperature is between the range of 4.5 to 6.4, it could be considered as cold wave, and if it goes beyond 6.4 degrees Celsius, it could be considered as severe cold wave conditions, right? And apart from this, if you take the case of coastal regions are normally occurred on the peninsular regions of India. So due to the moderating effect of temperatures from the sea breeze in and around the peninsular regions, the temperature of the coastal regions are not experiencing extremes of heat or extremes of coldness. It is because of this, even though Chennai or other coastal cities which are found closer to the equator on the southern parts of India is not experiencing higher temperatures during the summer or not experiencing very lower temperatures during the winters. Even though if we take the case of Delhi being a continental region, it can experience more than 40 degrees Celsius during its summers, and the temperatures may go even below 5 degree or 4 degrees Celsius during the winters. So moderating effect of sea breeze or the winds from the oceanic regions reduces the average temperature, or making the average temperatures of the coastal regions not to experience an extreme levels, right? So for a coastal region, if the minimum temperature is reducing by 4.5 degrees Celsius or less, it could be considered as a cold wave situations. Or if it is considered the minimum temperatures of a region apart from actual minimum temperature, if the minimum temperature goes beyond 15 degrees Celsius, it is also considered as a cold wave condition. For plains, it is 10 degrees Celsius, and for coastal regions, it could be considered as 15 degrees Celsius or less. These are all the other conditions, right? Apart from this actual minimum temperature condition, as well as a departure of temperature from its actual minimum temperature, for certain regions, if the actual minimum temperature of a particular plain region may be below 10 degrees Celsius, right? Maybe, for example, if the minimum temperature of a region is experiencing 9 degrees Celsius means, for that particular regions, if the temperature goes beyond 4 degrees Celsius or lesser than 4 degrees Celsius, it could also be considered as a cold wave situation. And if it goes below 2 degrees Celsius, it is also considered as a severe cold wave conditions. So these are all the categories through which a region could be declared as a region which is affected by cold wave situations, right? If you observe the temperatures of New Delhi or Patiala, then Varanasi regions or Karnal regions of North India, during the month of December or January, it is experiencing very minimum temperatures of 4 degree, 5 degrees Celsius. And if you observe the Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir regions and closer regions of Himachal Pradesh, you can even observe sub-zero level temperatures in those regions. So obviously, the northern portion of India, right, especially the regions in the trans-Himalayan regions as well as those plain regions which are associated with the Indo-Gangetic plain regions, are prone to high cold wave situations, right? So why these regions are experiencing cold weather conditions, even though it is present on the subtropical regions, right? It is not closer to the temperate or tundra type of regions, but it is present in the subtropical regions, right? What are all the conditions or what are all the weather situations which makes India to experience these kind of cold wave situations, especially in the months of December and January? To some extent, it may be extended to months of February in certain years, right? As per the conditions which are set by NDMA, there are major weather reasons, right? the weather reasons or weather situations for cold waves outbreak in India will be discussed now, right? What they say means the first important reason is the building up of a ridge in the jet stream over Northwest Asia. Jet stream, which jet stream is associated with India? It is subtropical westerly jet stream, right? So the subtropical westerly jet stream, which is normally occurring on the higher tropopause level above the region where subtropical high pressure belt is present over the 30 to 35 degree latitudinal locality. In both the hemispheres of 30 to 35 degree latitudinal region, you can observe the presence of subtropical high pressure belt. And even the formation of subtropical high pressure belt is facilitated by the presence of subtropical westerly jet stream, which are present in the exact latitude but at the higher altitudinal region closer to the troposphere, right? The presence of subtropical westerly jet stream normally located in the northern portion of India. Even during the monsoon season, we have discussed in our previous video that the shifting of subtropical westerly jet stream or shifting of subtropical high pressure belt towards the north of Himalayas facilitates the intertropical convergence zone to present over the Indo-Gangetic plain regions, right? In that sense, the presence of subtropical westerly jet stream is one of the important reasons for northern India to experience extreme cold wave situations. Why? Because the presence of subtropical westerly jet stream is associated with the presence of subtropical high pressure belt region. Subtropical high pressure belt regions means subsidence of air to the surface level, right? And they have clearly said that the build-up of a ridge in the jet stream over Northwest Asia is one of the important reasons for cold weather conditions. How far the presence of jet stream, and what do you understand by ridge of a jet stream? The elevated portion of a jet stream is called as ridge, and the shallower portion, or when it is deviated towards the equatorial regions, it could be called as trough of a jet stream, right? So the presence of this jet stream. So this is, if you consider the presence of a jet stream, it is normally present over the tropopause level, and it is located, the subtropical westerly jet stream is normally located over the 30 to 35 degree locality, right, in the northern Indo-Gangetic plain regions, right? So the elevated or the northward shifting, meandering of jet streams is called as ridge of jet stream. The region between the elevated ridge of jet streams, this portion is highly prone to high pressure conditions, because the subtropical high pressure belt would be highly makes this region to experience subsidence of air conditions. So subsidence of air conditions, especially during the cold weather seasons, makes it to experience further reduction of temperatures. On the other side, the trough of a region means the other portion of the jet streams is experiencing a cyclonic condition. Cyclonic conditions means elevation of air. But in the region which is experiencing the region of subtropical westerly jet streams where the ridge is present, you can experience anticyclonic condition. Anticyclonic conditions means subsidence of air. The presence of subtropical high pressure belt over this region would increase the subsidence of air and increases the high pressure conditions over there. High pressure conditions is equivalent to low temperature conditions. Whereas on the other side, the cyclonic conditions means elevation of air. The trough which is created as a result of this jet stream would make this particular region to experience low pressure conditions comparatively to the nearby regions. These regions would have experienced low pressure conditions, so that it could attract the cold weather winds from the northern portions of temperate regions, right? If this jet stream is located in this way, due to the presence of ridge, this region may experience high pressure conditions, and this region further attracts the cold weather winds from the Siberian continent or temperate regions of China or Central Asian regions. So on the other side, the formation of subtropical high pressure belt over north and central India and the movement of cold air masses in response to the steering by upper level winds allows this particular region to experience cold conditions in both the northwestern portion of India and especially on the Indo-Gangetic Plain regions. So this phenomena of the presence of jet streams and its associated subtropical high pressure belt, especially during the months of December, January, it is facilitating the northern portion of India, that is especially the Indo-Gangetic Plain regions of India, to experience high cold weather situations, right? Along with these three conditions, there are other two conditions is also described here. The triggering mechanism of strong westerly wave approaching northwest India to enhance the transport of cold air southeastward, right? On one side, we may discuss about the role of western disturbances. Western disturbances are support of the subtropical westerly jet streams, which during the time of later October or early November brings the moisture content from the Mediterranean Sea, and these moisture content would bring a sufficient rainfall for the cultivation of rabi crops, in the Punjab, Haryana plain regions. So during the time of initiation of northeast monsoon season, these western disturbances could bring quite rainfall for the cultivation of rabi crops. But these western disturbances, already it was part of subtropical westerly jet streams, right? Its presence further during the months of December and January would increase the conditions of cold weather situations, especially in the Indo-Gangetic as well as northwestern portion of India. It is all because of this we have already observed how far the temperatures of these regions are reduced even below the sub-zero level temperatures. So all of these are also facilitating the snow covered portions of the northwestern Himalayas to supply cold weathers towards the plain regions of North India, right? And recent findings have observed that the extremities of cold weather situations or extremities of cold wave situations are highly enhanced during the La Nina years, right? In our previous video, we have discussed about the influence of La Nina, which is an ocean plus atmospheric phenomena which is happening over the Pacific regions, right? So during the La Nina years, the extremes of cold weather situations are highly increasing in the months of December and January. So last video we have discussed that during the La Nina years, the monsoons is experiencing higher number of tropical cyclonic conditions. On the other side, during the winter seasons, the same La Nina year would make us to experience extremes of cold weather situations. Normally, La Nina is beneficial for monsoon rainfall, but due to the conditions which are prevailing due to global warming and climate change, extreme weather events are happening in and around the entire world. But if you take the case of India, this La Nina, which is associated with the Pacific Ocean regions, would facilitate increasing amount of cold weather situations even in the northwestern as well as northern portions of India, right? It has been predicted that the temperatures in this particular year is further going to reduce when compared to the 2021 level. So automatically it would pave the way for enormous increase of enormous negative impacts of cold weather situations, especially in the northern and the northwestern portion of India, right? So these are all the conditions which are making India to experience extreme cold weather situations. So if we observe the impacts of these cold waves, there are numerous impacts which is from both economical as well as social and environmental concerns are associated with these cold waves, right? So majorly, directly it is affecting the health of the individuals, because due to the conditions called as hypothermia. Hypothermia means the sudden or enormous decrease of temperatures, enormous decrease of body temperature due to these cold weather situations, which may pave the way for other related problems like cardiovascular stresses are something associated with these cold wave situations. This sometimes makes the persons to lose their life. It is because of this, as we have discussed, during the time of cold waves, the deaths of persons, the number of deaths of persons keeps on increasing as a result of extremities of these cold waves, right? And the other major impact is for the agricultural crop cultivations. So the crops, especially the crops which are associated with the Rabi seasons, as well as the horticultural portions of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, is also going to highly affected due to these coldness conditions. On the other side, the livestock is also facing extreme stress due to these cold weather situations, which may sometimes lead to the death of those livestock itself. Then another component is due to the extremes of temperatures, the need for higher proportion of energy is also keeps on increasing. All of these also makes more energy consumption during these cold wave situations, which on other side may pave to larger emission of greenhouse gas emissions, because still we are highly dependent upon thermal energy. 50 to 60% of our energy demand is addressed by thermal energy. Unless until we are moving towards more sustainable way of producing renewable energy, we may face numerous issues associated with these cold weather situations. And infrastructure, especially the transport and communication component of the infrastructure, is highly affected due to the cold waves, right? So all of these are considered to be the major impacts of cold waves, right? So before 2010 or before 2012, it was these cold weather situations was just considered as a part of winter season. But later, as a result of its enhanced increase of impacts of these cold waves, our government of India have notified this cold wave as a disaster under National Disaster Management Act. So in the year of 2012, it was clearly notified as a part of disasters which needs to be addressed under these guidelines, right? Ministry of Agriculture and was considered to be the nodal ministry for cold wave or frost conditions which are associated with these situations. But you need to know that this cold wave is considered as a part of disaster which brings damages to the agricultural sector alone, right? The crops which are highly damaged or highly affected due to these cold waves will be compensated by the state disaster relief fund or national disaster relief fund basis, right? So these are all the initiatives which has been taken by government to handle the impacts of cold waves to some extent, right? So in this particular year, extreme events of cold weather conditions are happening at present and is yet to happen till the months of February, right? With this, we can move on to the next topic. The deltaic regions of Baitarani and Brahmani rivers of coastal Odisha regions. These entire coastal regions is known for Olive Ridley turtles nesting regions, right? Especially these three regions are known for its mass nesting. Lakhs and lakhs of eggs would be hatched during this period, during this breeding seasons in this particular three river mouth regions, right? So on that sense, to address the issues faced by these Olive Ridley turtles, we need to know about its migrating pattern and its mating seasons and how far the changing conditions which are prevailing over the entire regions where these Olive Ridley turtles are traveling. We need to get some more additional information. In order to get those informations, this tagging of Olive Ridley turtles has been carried out by the researchers of Zoological Survey of India. right? So this tagging is associated with the addition of a metal tags which are affixed to the turtles, which are non-corrosive in nature, so that it will not be get harmed due to this tagging effect. The tags are uniquely numbered. Uniquely numbered means it has the details about whom it has been attached to, and it has the details of Zoological Survey of India. If suppose it has been located by some other researchers, they will send informations to the concerned tag details regarding its migrating path or present locations where it is where it is moving from one region to another region. So it would help them to identify the migration path and the places visited by these marine reptiles for congregation and nesting habits. Congregations means a larger assembly of all of these Olive Ridley turtles. At what time and what place they are assembling together for these nesting activities, right? To chase and to get idea about all of these things where these Olive Ridley turtles are migrating and mass nestings, this this tagging of Olive Ridley turtles activity was recently taken by Zoological Survey of India, right? So these are all the important regions which are associated with the mass nesting habits of Olive Ridley turtles. This Olive Ridley turtles is otherwise called as Pacific Ridley sea turtle, right? So if you observe the location where all of these Olive Ridley turtles are happen to move from one place to another place, it is majorly occurring in both Indian Ocean as well as Pacific Ocean regions, especially the regions in and around Mexico, the Central American regions or Mexico coastal regions. It is highly known for its mass nesting habitats, right? Another important Costa Rica, Nicaragua regions of Central American portions between North America and South America is highly known for its mass nesting habitats. Apart from that, our Odisha coast regions, that is these three, Gahirmata, Devi and Rushikulya river mouth regions, is also known for its mass nesting habitats. So these small reptiles, this is considered to be the second smallest and most abundant of all turtles in the world. This is one of the uniqueness about these Olive Ridley turtles. And the mass nesting practice of these Olive Ridley turtles, that is the congregation of all of these larger numbers of female turtles which tend to lay around 100 to 150 eggs. Each and every turtle can lay 100 to 150 eggs in these entire coastal regions. This practice of mass nesting is called as aribadas, right? Aribadas is a term which is related to the mass nesting habit of Olive Ridley turtles. So this is one of an important species which is associated with the marine ecosystems. Under our Wildlife Protection Acts, it has been considered as the most important protective species which has been placed under Schedule 1 of our Wildlife Protection Act. And as per our red letter list of IUCN, it is considered to be under the category of vulnerable. And the convention, CITES convention, that is Convention on International Trades on Endangered Species, it has also given a high level of protection. It is similar to the Schedule 1 species of Wildlife Protection Act. Appendix 1 is the higher most protective status for any species to be placed under CITES convention, right? So these are all the some important details which you need to know about the locations where these Olive Ridley turtles are migrating from one region to another region, and what are all the important mass nesting sites of these Olive Ridley turtles apart from Indian coastal regions of Odisha coastal regions of Indian Eastern Coastal Plain regions, right? Then, so on considering the significance of these Olive Ridley turtles, the state governments, Odisha state government have taken numerous initiatives for its protection, because if you consider the total population of these Olive Ridley turtles, 50% of the world's population of these Olive Ridley turtles has the habit of mass nesting its eggs on the Odisha coast alone. And if you take the case of entire Indian population, around 90% of all of these sea turtles are associated with this particular coastal regions alone. So how far significant it needs to be there, right? So in order to consider the protection of all of these important species, the regions where this mass nesting habits of Olive Ridley turtles are taking place are announced, especially the waters around especially the coastal regions of Baitarani and Brahmani river, which is associated with the Bhitarkaniga National Park, right? Near to that Bhitarkaniga National Park, the entire Gaharmata region has been declared as a marine wildlife sanctuary in the year of 1997 itself. The entire Gaharmata region is being announced as a marine sanctuary region, so that it will comes under the ambit of higher protection, especially during the nesting period. Normally in the months of November, this mass nesting of Olive Ridley turtles would take place. We have already discussed in our previous session, right? This region, especially during the months of November and December, is also highly prone to cyclonic activity. On one side, we need to protect from the negative impacts of these natural disasters, which is associated with the mass nesting practices of Olive Ridley turtles. The Odisha Marine Fisheries Regulating Act of 1982 have announced the other important regions, that is the regions of Devi River and Rushikulya regions, as no fishing zone, especially during this breeding season, during the months of November and December, where the time of the exact time at which these Olive Ridley turtles are mass nesting its eggs over these coastal regions. It has been announced as a no fishing zone for this particular period, and Indian Coast Guard is being authorized as an enforcement agency to follow the provisions of this acts, follow the provisions of this particular act, right? And if you take the case of other periods apart from these breeding seasons, if the trawling of the larger shrimps and fishing habitats are happening over the continental shelf regions, it has been said that every fishers who are associated with this particular regions has to have an turtle excluded devices, right? These excluded devices have a large escape openings where, if at all, due to any accidental catching of these turtles whenever they are going for shrimp fishing, that nets has to have a facility so that each and every turtle would easily escape from that accidental capturing of those turtles during the shrimp fishing or other associated fishing activities. So these are all certain activities which has been taken for the purpose of protecting the Olive Ridley turtles, especially during the time of November and December, right? So these are all certain important things you need to know about these Olive Ridley turtles with respect to our civil services preparation. With this, we can wind up this session. Thank you, friends.